Gather round and listen well. On Hallows Eve, we'll end this tale of a haunted hayride in the wood when only a group of hunters could solve the mysteries that lay within, one of wonder and one of sin. Inside the winter's funeral home, an agent eyes a dark black tome. As she prepares to say goodbye, the hunters wait for her nearby. Alright, so happy almost Halloween, everyone. I guess technically we're a few weeks away, but we're starting our celebrations a little bit early here at Crypt Fails Inc. And this whole mystery is going to culminate on Halloween, and the episode will actually be going up a little bit earlier. It'll actually be going up on Wednesday on Halloween, so you guys can celebrate properly. The only thing is that since that kind of throws off our schedule, that Sunday, we actually have something a little bit different, a little bit special planned for you guys. So you'll still get an episode on Sunday. Just think of this one, the finale of Monster of the Week will be on Halloween itself. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. As you heard in the opening monologue, you guys are preparing to say goodbye to Agent Sullivan, who's been with you for about maybe a little bit longer than a week. Okay. It's been about a week. It's been like 6 days since the Harvest Festival and since the issue with the Frog Lady and the pies. And Rolf and Esmeralda are still recovering from their injuries. Esmeralda specifically took a bad hit to the head, but that seems to have triggered a little bit of a spiritual consequence on her end. Awakening, that's a better word. And the man called Rolf, he's actually not with the group preparing to say goodbye to Agent Sullivan. He is down in the makeshift infirmary, the basement where Elizabeth had set up the infirmary. He's still recovering from his severe acid burns that he suffered, and actually still struggling to recover his vision. So he's been kind of his recovery's been longer, but he's healing. But he's asleep right now down there while the rest of the group prepares to say goodbye to Agent Sullivan. So you're all gathered around and in the sitting room, and Agent Sullivan comes down the stairs.
Am I there too, or am I recovering in my room?
All of us are there.
Yeah, all of you except for the man called Rolf.
Hello, Agent Sullivan, or should I say goodbye?
Yeah, I should probably get going.
I sort of hang back because every time I look at her face, I sort of am reminded of that one moment where the witch had half of a frog's face and half of hers, and still sort of bothers me, so I don't approach her.
Olaf grunts. Bye.
Well, it was great having you. Do you want any more of that? Oh, there's no pie left from a bit ago. How many days ago was this?
I'm pretty sure she doesn't want that pie.
No, oh, okay. I thought it was so delicious.
Well, before I go, I did want to talk to you all. Can we take a seat?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Are we outside?
So she leads. No, you're
inside. I'm
next to the sitting room. So you all head into the sitting room and you sit around. Something happened during the fight with those frog creatures. Your friend, the man called Rolf, I saw something in him.
Is it anything good?
I think that question is it something bad or that we should be worried about?
I suppose it's a bit of both. Agent Toombs, you haven't been properly briefed on this. It's sort of a higher clearance.
Need to know basis? God.
But I feel I have to offer this information to you for the safety of the town as well as the man called Rolf. He's what we consider an adept.
Like of magic?
Sort of. It's, well, we're still trying to figure out what exactly they are, but think of a being that, how should I put this? They're essentially a living ley line.
That doesn't sound very fun.
So, do they have, like, more source of mana or, like, more abilities
What's
than regular
mana?
mages?
That's one way to put it. Chi, mana, chakra, those are all terms that refer to the same spiritual energy that fuels magic. It's what you yourself taps into to perform your spells. You use your foci, incantations, and things like that to tap into this energy. The man called Rolf is himself a source of this energy.
Interesting. Do you mean that besides himself, can other people use him as, like, a catalyst?
I'm not at liberty to discuss that specifically, but listen, we have a program that we put the few adepts that we've discovered through, and it's been extremely successful. I can relay that program to you, but it would be up to you and all of your friends to help the man called Rolf through this program.
Before we make any decisions, like, how are the adepts that you've taken under? Like, what do they do right now? Like, are they still out in the world or still with you guys?
As I said, that's still classified, and I'm sorry, Agent Toombs, I'm already breaking several protocols to tell you this information.
Well, what do the rest of you think?
I'll take whatever helps at this point, to be honest, because...
I don't know. I think that we should give Rolf the chance to weigh in on this. I mean, I don't want to send him off to somewhere and then he gets worse.
Yeah, I thought it was a program we sort of, I don't know, do here, remotely.
What type of program is this, Agent Sullivan?
It's a series of trainings, not dissimilar to the ones you went through, Agent Toombs, just more specialized.
But would he have to go away for these, or would he do them here?
If the Order of St. John gets word that an adept is at large, they won't stop until that adept is part of our agency. I am telling you this because I don't think that that's best for him. But the program has shown success.
See, I knew that my sect was better.
As I understand it, Esmeralda, your sect, I shouldn't really say anymore.
What were you gonna say?
We've been investigating a plethora of different sources of these adepts, but we have reason to suspect that the particular sect that you are a part of is attempting magical experimentation to create adepts.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
Regardless, look, I'm giving you the specifics of the program, or more of an outline of the program. I shouldn't have said specifics. This program, you would all have to perform here, in secrecy, away from any prying eyes of the Order. Agent Toombs, after spending time with you and your cohorts and looking through your reports, I understand why certain things were omitted from your reports, and this is something that you'll all have to protect.
Well, we appreciate all of this, Agent Sullivan.
Do you want the program?
I agree with Esmeralda that we at least should talk
yeah, but
to
we can
the
have
man
the
called
program
Rolf.
yes,
on us,
she can-
and we can
so
still
you're
talk
saying
to
you-
him.
Yes, you're saying, Agent Sullivan, that you'll give us, like, an outline of the program, correct?
That's right. You can tell the man called Rolf anything you want. He can know about it or he cannot. It's up to you.
I think it'd be best for us to at least have the program.
Yeah, even if it's just a backup plan.
Yeah, at least some sort of training will at least help him himself control
I
whatever
almost
it
think we
is.
shouldn't tell him about it because it'd be funnier that way.
Okay.
Olaf,
Okay.
I understand the man called Rolf is a descendant of yours?
Yes.
That would essentially make you his next of kin.
First of kin, actually.
Very well.
Done.
What are your thoughts on this?
I will stay with Ralph, the man called Ralph.
Everyone will stay with the man called Rolf, but I think she's asking, do you think this is a good idea for him to
Go through the program.
undergo the program?
If it helps him.
I think.
I
yeah,
think
just say
that
yes.
it will.
Yeah, Just gives
Alright,
the
then hand
program.
it over.
Take out our guns and point at her. Hand her over.
She opens her briefcase and pulls out a small folder, and she hands it to Damien. This is the dossier on the program. Please, you need to protect this.
Understood.
We'll protect it like that spell book.
Right. She walks to the door, and you guys kind of walk her out onto the little stoop. And she shakes Damien's hand and extends her arm out to Olaf. Does Olaf shake her hand?
No, he grabs.
She makes her hand a fist and just kind of like bumps it against your chest. And then she moves on to Rudius, and she says, every time I've worked with your family, I feel like I've grown as an investigator, and I just want to thank you.
Kiss her.
And then
kiss her.
she hugs Rudius. Rudius, roll act under pressure.
Oh my god.
What, is he gonna get a boner?
It sounds like him.
He's like, ooh, breasts against my chest.
Pass.
Oh, thank god.
So you
I don't wanna
can
be fired
feel
for this.
her reaching into your jacket and grabbing something. You can do something about this, or you can let it happen.
Shit. Huh.
But ask at least what she's grabbing. I mean,
Under his jacket, I think it's kind of obvious what he had in the jacket.
I sort of hug her back and put my mouth close to her ear and ask her rather quietly, what do you want?
This is for everyone's best interest. Trust me.
I think I know what she's trying to take from me, and at this point, I think it's good riddance. So I just move away from her and let her grab whatever she wants to grab.
Okay. She moves on to Esmeralda. Esmeralda, thank you for letting me stay at your funeral home.
you're welcome. I thought you were going to say thank you about something else. That's what I was giving you time to thank me for something else.
Oh, was there something else?
I mean, you know everything, but that's okay. You're welcome. Anytime.
Well,
Take care of yourself, agent.
it's kind of stupid, but I do have this for you.
Okay.
Gives her a love letter.
Oh my.
Kiss.
She reaches into her jacket and she takes out a small friendship bracelet that she made.
Oh, that is so cute.
Oh, Esmeralda. Okay,
Besties.
Esmeralda is very sensitive, as we know. She tears up a little, and she's like, "I'm sorry, I was a little bit of a bitch to you."
That's okay. Just
Damien coughs and like a little bit.
Be quiet. She snarls at him.
thank you, everyone. I'm going to make my full report, and trust me, you'll all be okay.
Thank you for everything.
She gets into her car and
Stay
drives
safe out
off.
there, agent.
Let's take a quick little look into the future of Agent Sullivan walking into Jack Harkin's office, or should I say regional director Jack Harkin. Nah, that was always his title, but I got tired of just saying Jack Harkin.
Yeah, it sounds.
So she walks
sounds
in.
more official.
Good afternoon, sir. Here's my report. He looks it over. I see. So that's your final recommendation then? Yes, sir. Very well. From this point on, Agent Toombs is officially reassigned.
Ooh.
And your secondary objective? She reaches into her jacket and she places a small black book on the desk. Accomplished, sir. That'll be all, Agent Sullivan. Thank you. And she leaves the office.
Back to the group.
Back to the group. Specifically, back to the man called Rolf. Roll for your premonition.
Here we go. I rolled wait, that's plus weird. Or wait, no, that's plus weird. So that's gonna be 7.
Okay, mark experience.
Yay.
7.
By the way, Esmeralda, what color is the friendship bracelet?
Do I get to choose the color?
Yeah.
I think it's yellow and red, like her hair.
I was thinking, I was imagining her wearing dark, archaic clothes and just a bright friendship bracelet on her wrist.
I was thinking it's yellow because that's friendship, and then red because
That's
of her hair.
fair, yeah.
The man called Rolf. In your kind of pain-induced dream, since you're still kind of recovering from all of your burns, you see the haze of the Medroot Woods. It reminds you of the first vision you had here in Sam's Landing. where you saw the red eyes through the trees. But this time, as your vision pans through the forest, it goes through a small hollow. It's dark, almost pitch black, but inside you can see, and you can see some sort of plant, and it's rotting. There's maggots crawling in and out of it, and a centipede crawls out. As you get a better look at the plant, within its kind of gourd is a half-decomposed human skull, and you recognize this face as Sheriff Lily Coslow, and then you wake up.
And I feel like we see the man called Rolf. He has burns still all over his body. His hair is kind of burnt looking at some of the edges, and there's a heavy burn marks around, especially around his eyes. And in his eye, I feel like we get a close-up of his eyes as the vision fades out, and there's still tinges of red around the edges. And it comes out, we kind of see Rolf kind of collapse to, not, like, if he was laying on the table, he kind of tries to climb off of the table, and he kind of fails to get his balance and kind of collapses next to the table and is kind of leaning against it on his back just while sitting on the floor. And not only is he contemplating what he just saw, but he's also trying to come to, what's the phrase? He's trying to come to terms with whatever other spirits or alternate ego is that he encountered during at the end of the last session.
How long has it been since the incident with the witch?
It's been about a week.
So a week ago. And I almost feel like we get a internal, or like the camera almost like goes into him, and we see kind of a mental image of him, and we see Rolf kind of crouched down looking up at some sort of figure draped in shadow. And he goes, and we hear him say, "The man called Rolf wants to know, who are you?" And the figure simply says, "I am you, but better, not worrying about others. I am what's best for us."
I don't like this alter ego.
But the man called Rolf needs to care about his friends. He doesn't only care about himself. That is inconsequential. I will be taking over, at least for now. And we see the shadows kind of envelope Rolf, and he's kind of cringing against it. And for a moment, we zoom back out to the physical world, and we see kind of the red kind of flickers over Rolf's eyes, and then it disappears. And his eyes, where they were black before, are now a piercing yellow. And he stands up.
You'll never be able to take him from us.
You have no influence here anymore, spirit. Be gone.
Badass one.
And we see the man called Rolf's body stand up and leave the room.
Can he see now?
Meanwhile,
Sorry, go for it.
oh no, I thought it's, wait, yeah, can he see now? Because remember he was blind.
Well, he wasn't completely blind.
Oh, okay.
He was like partial blindness.
Meanwhile, outside, I'm sure in love with Agent Sullivan. How about you guys?
You're in what? I didn't catch that.
In love.
I'm pretty sure Rudius is too.
I don't know about that, really. Like, I experienced some harrowing things when you guys were out and about with Rolf before you guys came to rescue me, you see, so I can't say that I'm in love with her or anything of that sort.
I was just being, sarcastic in a way.
Oh. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not, really in love with her.
You aren't?
No, that would be crazy. Barely knew her.
She tries to hide the friendship
Blush.
bracelet that she already put on.
And she's blushing.
Anyways, I'm gonna go up to my room now. Let me know if there's anything going on today that I need to be a part of, but I'm gonna go get some rest.
What time of day is this?
It's early morning, let's say 8.
Okay, alright, cool.
Esmeralda, don't forget about your new move.
I'm not. That's why I'm going up to my room.
I actually go up to go check on the man called Rolf to see how he's doing.
So When you open the door, you see the man called Rolf in his room, but he looks very different. He is standing where normally he would be kind of hunched over, he's now standing up straight. And instead of his hair being all pointed out in Albert Einstein fashion, his hair is pulled neatly back into a ponytail and held back by a rubber band.
But he still has the acid burns,
He's
right?
fat.
Yeah, he still has the burns. And then at the sound of the door opening, he turns around and sees you, and he just kind of gives you a cold look without saying anything.
I
Roll
really
use
can't...
magic.
What? Me?
Harley,
Okay.
roll use
Oh,
magic.
okay.
Yeah. That's gonna be a 4.
Okay, choose a glitch.
Let's see. For magic.
You stay calm.
The
Just
effect
forget
is
me,
of
you
short
fall over.
duration.
A slight frost comes over Rudius for a second, and you can kind of feel like your skin's starting to get really cold in a few spots, and then it goes away.
What the fuck? Dude, your room's really cold. Fix your thermostat. And I really can't tell if you look better or worse right now. Like, you have those burns, which I feel bad about. Like, they're terrible, but you look so much better, man. Like, what's going on? You got a date or something?
Talk too much. You've gotten in my way one too many times. So now I must be gone. And he kind of brushes past Rudius.
Enter Olaf.
I'm just like...
Haha, alright.
Olaf
dumbfounded.
looks
I don't even
closely
react.
at the man called Rolf, and he like takes him the new appearance and like this new like
Cat
air
whistles.
of confidence and whatnot.
Olaf, roll plus sharp.
Plus charm.
Ooh.
My charm -2. Sick.
Not charm,
So
sharp.
happy.
Oh, sharp.
Oh.
Sharp is that's 0. 7.
Slightly
Oh,
better.
wow. Still a pass.
There's something off about the man called Rolf.
Olaf can't place his finger on it,
Dun.
but something's off about this man called Rolf. You're not the
He's-
man called Rolf. What have you done with him?
Right. I'm not him. I'm his better half. And he kind of smirks at Olaf and continues walking towards the exit at the Winter's funeral home.
Olaf grabs him.
I'm like, wait, is he married?
Is it just the two of us? That's the two of them?
No,
That's
I'm there,
you,
too.
Rolf walking out?
Yeah, I was thinking Damien is probably still downstairs.
Yeah, like, I was near, like, the sitting room, so it's near the exit, so do I see him go out?
So Olaf, you try to grab him?
Not so fast. Where do I roll for that, if I do?
Do I need to roll something too, or?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. Olaf, for you, it's going to be protect someone.
Ooh.
The man called Rolf, for you, it's going to be kick some ass.
Okay.
Oh, snap.
Can I help?
Damn.
Oh, he doesn't
which
need
one?
help. He doesn't need help. I was gonna help Olaf.
I rolled a 5.
Okay.
Nah,
So,
bro, he got skills.
Olaf,
He got skills for days.
you grab him. So your effect is going to be you hold the enemy back. But you also choose... Oh, well, yeah, that's the extra. Yeah. So you hold him.
Mm-hmm.
Let's pause this for just a second. Esmeralda, what are you doing in your room?
So I'm going to use my fortunes move. Oh, sorry. So I'm going to use channel into my sex, ancient prophecies, and divination.
Divination?
Yeah, techniques
Yeah.
to predict what's going to happen, what the future has to hold. Because right now, Esmeralda is just feeling kind of unsure. She doesn't know where the group's at. She feels really down about Dwight and Elizabeth.
She has a
still.
fortune cookie in hand.
Does
Yeah,
she
she has a
leave the
fortune
sect?
cookie in hand. So, yeah, she's going to go ahead and do that.
Is she still with the
Okay.
sect?
Roll plus weird. Yeah, she's
Yes,
still with the
she
sect.
is.
She's just not in good standing with them.
Okay.
This is a different move.
There you go.
Ooh.
That's an excellent roll.
Ooh.
Okay, so you hold 3. Let me reacquaint myself with what this does.
That's pretty good.
You hold 3. Spend your hold to have a useful object ready, or be somewhere you are needed just in time, or take 1 forward, or give 1 forward, or retroactively warn someone about an attack so that it doesn't happen. So you have those to use for this mystery. So what happens is you go back upstairs and your head starts pounding, and you get flashes of your original vision, the vision with the white nebulous void and then the big hands engulfing your friends. That you get flashes of that, but there's something behind it. There's something else there. And when you use your holds, you'll be able to figure out what that is.
So I don't know if anyone's in danger or anything. I can use the +1 forward to another hunter, retroactively warn someone about an attack so that it doesn't happen.
Yeah, there's quite a few options for it, actually. It's... you
pretty
can
versatile.
have it. Yeah, you can have a
One of
useful
them sounded like she
object
pretty much
ready.
teleports there.
You can be somewhere you're needed just in time. You can take one forward. You can give one forward to another hunter. You can retroactively warn someone about an attack so that it doesn't happen. So you have 5 different options there of what you can use those holds for.
So when the attack, how would I know that the attack is about to happen though?
So retroactively means that it already happened. So you kind of like remember.
Go back in time or whatever
Pretty much.
before it happens. And
Yeah,
warn them.
remember
Okay.
how we did in the zombies campaign when people had that re-rolling ability where like I would say what happens and then they're like, okay, I want to re-roll that. And then we'll be like, you get a vision that that's about to happen. And we're like back.
Oh, like a
Yeah.
premonition.
Yeah, kind of like a
Cool.
premonition.
Okay. So I guess I hold that. So I just see the nebula. I don't really see anything else or do anything else right now.
Not yet.
Okay. So, Esmeralda does all this, and then she, were you guys, talking loudly or doing anything?
Yeah, you hear a commotion in the hall.
Okay. She goes out into the hallway, and she's like, what's going on out here?
This isn't the man called Rolf.
Yeah,
What?
he's acting funny.
Already told
What
you,
it looks
you
like-
buffoons. I am not the man called Rolf.
Oh, so what is your name, then, if you're not the man called Rolf?
He kind of smirks at this, and he says,
Man named Rolf.
Good question.
Oh my god.
my name
Yes?
So
is
fancy.
Alan Delmore Fletch.
Alan Delmore Fletch. Very interesting. And,
Everyone
Mr.
furiously writing it down.
Yeah.
Mr. Fletch.
Yep.
Mr. Fletch, I just want to ask you, what year is it?
I do not care what year it is, miss.
You do not care, you do not know, or both?
It's inconsequential. All that matters
Oh.
is moving this vessel to a location where it can be safe. And it is not
The vessel
safe
that you're
here.
in. The man called Rolf's body, the vessel that you're in right now.
Perhaps. I would not
What's-
not think it for expect. Thank you. I don't know why I'm forgetting words tonight.
It's okay, I think it's a good phrase.
Through the
Too
power
many
of
voices in
editing,
your
no
head,
one
man.
will notice. Except for that
Yeah.
phrase, I'm leaving that in.
I would not expect
Um,
such rogues as yourselves to understand.
Well, would you at least enlighten us, entertain the idea of us being able to understand? We have dealt with strange happenings before.
Would that
I'm very intelligent.
be a manipulate someone roll?
That would be a manipulate someone roll. Go ahead and roll plus
Very
charm,
convincing,
Esmeralda,
sir.
and you mark experience again.
Oh yeah,
I helped her by saying I'm intelligent.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Nah, I don't know if that constitutes help out.
Hey.
Tried.
I've
You
talked to
tried.
demons before. I know how it works.
Oh
my God.
I'm gonna,
You have luck.
Rip.
Good luck.
does it get worse
Damn.
when I use all my luck? What's the consequence?
So when you use up all of your luck, that
die.
means you're gonna die eventually.
Nah,
Like,
I'm okay.
Jesus.
Can someone else use their luck to help with someone else's roll? Like, say, if I use...
no.
Like for luck?
You can try to help out though. Her roll was pretty low.
But I thought help out only gives +1.
Yeah, you would all 3 have to help out, and all 3 of you pass for it to. Oh, that would still be a fail.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Because
so-
I'm not helping.
Yeah.
So you're saying, you're not gonna help?
You're the antagonist, sir.
Well, how are you? So she fails to manipulate you,
How do you react?
Alan. So how do you react?
As I said before, it's inconsequential to you and your group. And he kind of smirks
Well, you
at
see
at
here-
her.
Well, you see here, the vessel that you're in, if that's what you'd like to call it, is our friend's vessel. And we're not letting you take it anywhere without us doing something about it.
And he's still kind of smirking, and he kind of looks at the hand, at Olaf's hand holding onto his wrist, and he just kind of
Why?
tugs on it just a little bit while thinking about wanting to be free.
Menacing.
Would that be a magic roll?
Oh,
He's using the force.
Trying to teleport or
roll
something.
use magic.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Come on, dice. You haven't been rolling good all night.
You don't.
How do I resist?
that's good. Fuck it. I'm gonna burn it luck.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god, how many do you
I
have
have
left?
1 point left.
Oh my god.
Oh my
god,
god.
you're doomed.
Is this how we kill him?
Well, we don't kill him. He's killing himself.
Does he want to die?
Seems like
Suicidal
at this
bastard.
point.
Yep.
Okay, choose your effect.
I feel bad for Olaf now.
Mm.
Magic backfires. Makes the grip stronger.
No, he used a luck, so it's gonna be a positive outcome for him.
Oh.
That's...
I'm
yeah.
going to do one thing that is beyond human limitations.
Okay, describe what that looks like.
So we see
Oh, boy.
the Alan pull on his arm as he's, he just completely turns away from everyone and walks away. And we see his arm. Olaf is firmly holding onto the arm, but somehow the arm just phases through Olaf's fingers and
Sick.
he just walks around the corner, and you can almost I feel like the group almost sees like a shadow following him as he disappears around the corner.
Oh god, you
Can I
became
react
Casper
to
again.
this?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
You can't react to him breaking out of your grip. But as he's walking down the stairs, you can do something.
Can
I'd
all
like
of us do
to-
something or just him?
Olaf thinks very
Well,
hard.
let's see what Olaf is doing.
Freeze!
Oh, use magic.
Oh my god.
Magic versus magic versus magic.
Damn!
I love the elements.
Okay, choose your
With his roll, sir,
choose
you're
your
gonna
effect
die.
and a glitch.
Oh, imperfectly.
Yeah. Also mark experience, I think.
Oh, I got a mark experience too, huh?
Why?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
because I use weird.
luck. Oh.
Oh.
If we die, it won't
Right.
matter though.
No, but when he levels up, he can restore a point of luck.
Yeah. Oh. Interesting.
My thing
Very
was trap a
interesting.
specific person, and the glitch
Okay, yeah.
is... I'm not sure what I want the glitch to be.
What would be the most interesting to the story in this situation?
I'll take harm.
Oh, I like that.
But that triggers my other, move.
The unending vitality.
Yeah.
He activated that trap charm.
Is that cool?
Well, let me make sure that it does. Unquenchable. When you have taken harm, you heal yourself. Roll plus cool. Yeah, it triggers it.
Needs nerf.
Alright,
Oh, shit.
so we'll have
So
that.
roll plus cool.
Neal's about to roll a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Nice
And
knowing
they're
you,
both
Harley.
plus weird, huh? Oh
No,
no,
that one's...
Plus cool.
plus cool. Oh, that one's also checked for you, isn't it?
No, weird
Oh
and
no,
tough
it's tough
on.
and weird. Okay,
So now I've got enough to level up, but yeah.
nice. For this mystery, we'll do level ups between sessions since you guys will likely be leveling up a lot. 8?
So I don't take damage.
Yeah, so you heal that one harm. But, so, Alan, you feel your legs start to get really heavy and then they're frozen to the stairs, in literal, they're literally encased in ice. When that happens, the shadow that you kind of, it's almost like a double image of the man called Rolf / Alan, and the dark one kind of turns and glares at Olaf, and you feel like this wave of dark energy hit you, Olaf, but it damages you, but your unquenchable vitality just kind of reconstitutes you pretty quick. Rudius, you wanted to do something?
Yeah, it's fucking Wolverine.
We saw the little shadow thing, right? The little double image.
So I'm trying to decide. Yeah, I think you all have enough of a relationship, and you're all attuned enough with the supernatural to, you all kind of saw the double vision of him.
So I don't exactly know what it is, but I'm assuming it's a spirit. So I'll try and banish it from him, assuming that it's an evil spirit.
Exorcism.
Yeah.
How are you doing that?
Well, the thing I'm seeing that's sort of almost detached from his body, the dark spirit or whatever the hell I'm seeing. I just try to banish that out of his body or from this mansion, I suppose, or funeral home, so that he is detached from the body. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Go ahead and roll.
Oh, jeez.
So choose a glitch.
Oh boy.
I'm actually gonna use a luck.
Oh, okay.
Whoa, okay.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and
Very
I get that
interesting.
advanced thing, right?
Oh, yes, you do.
Yeah. Well, I don't get to choose the advanced, but for my effect, I just choose that he will, that whatever that thing is, the spirit will be banished from his body.
Okay, here's what's gonna happen. You kind of condense the air around this dark energy that's surrounding the man called Rolf / Alan, and you kind of use the condensed air around to kind of cleave this spirit away.
And I yell, "Begone!"
The spirit begins to tear away, and you can hear the man called Rolf start to scream in pain.
The man called Rolf does not enjoy this!
The spirit tears off, but it looks directly at you, Rudius, and you get a, this is your added benefit from your advanced, you get a perfect look at him. It's not a spirit, it's not a demon, it's not a ghost, it is literally part of the man called Rolf's personality. You're not quite sure exactly how it works, but you know that this particular part of his personality is not the whole of man called Rolf, and neither is the man called Rolf. You get the sense that together they make the true identity of this person, this friend that you've known for years. Right now, it's separated, but you can't tell exactly how long it's going to take. The man called Rolf, you're the man called Rolf again.
So the man called Rolf is kind of screaming in pain, and the wind's whipping all around him, and he kind of, he's very confused because a moment ago everything went black after he got off the table, and now his feet are suddenly encased in the floor, and he can't move because of the floor and the wind. And he's just completely bewildered. His friends look angry, and he looks where Rudius is looking, and he sees Alan, and he cries out in horror as he cannot comprehend the shadow. But somewhere deep down within him, he knows that this is the shadow that took him over, and he is insanely scared of it.
Damien, you walk up the stairs and see the man called Rolf, frozen to the floor.
Jeez. As I hear the commotions, I mean, I heard, besides the temperature's going freaking cold, and then I heard him scream, I run to what's happening, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? Why is Rolf frozen? What's happening?
Something was controlling his body, and well, do you not see that? I point at the little that's what I was thinking, but I'm not so sure anymore.
Damien is really the only one who can't see it.
Because I'm not magical.
Exactly,
Yeah.
you're not magical enough to see it.
Yeah, I'm a hunter, I'm not a magic shit, so I see crap.
He's looking at nothing.
He's like,
I was
these
like,
people are
what?
fucking insane.
Esmeralda can
The
see,
frick?
but does she?
Yeah.
Does she know what Rudius knows about this?
Only Rudius got that information.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't let him back in. He doesn't get you like we do.
What is the spirit?
I'll be honest, when I separated him from Rolf, I got this strange feeling like I was separating, almost tearing Rolf apart into, this, whatever it is, spirit creature is part of Rolf. I don't know if I did the right thing. I don't know if that thing is necessarily evil.
I think that perhaps this supposed to live in harmony within the man called Rolf.
Yeah, but the man called Rolf seems rather terrified of him, so I think it's pretty unsure as to what to do.
I almost think it's like that we all have that in a piece of ourselves where, we can become angry or, just be a little bit more stern.
The inner demons?
Inner demons. And I feel as though, although they may make us do things that we don't like, they're necessary.
That's when I look at Rolf and the man called Rolf. Do you know this man with the question mark?
The man called Rolf is he's still screaming at Alan, and he simply just can't hear or notice anything else. He's so intently terrified that he can't hear or see anything other than Alan.
Well, roll act under pressure.
Maybe we should get a bottle and capture him like a genie. Just carry him.
Oh my god.
That's
Wonder if he
not
grants
a
wishes.
terrible idea, because Rudius, with your background of enchanting objects, you may be able to find a magical vessel to hold this guy in temporarily, at least until you can figure out how to meld them together, but it's going to be big magic.
Okay, I'll let Susie do what she was gonna do first.
I wasn't gonna do anything. I just thought Olaf would do something.
Olaf
So I was
do
gonna
whatever
Alright, so what was Olaf going to do?
Olaf goes up to the man called Rolf and hugs him. It's okay, the man called
Oh
Rolf.
my
As-
god.
Everything will be okay.
As Olaf approaches Rolf, Alan gives Olaf another cold glare and says, "Do not approach him again."
That sort of seals the deal for me, because I don't know if he's evil per se, but he doesn't seem like a benefactor to
Nice.
Rolf
Nice
per
guy.
se. So that's when this is almost like shooting an arrow in the blind, but I try to sort of almost create an enchantment so that the spirit or whatever it is that we're encountering is sealed to my amulet, at the very least
fuck.
temporarily.
Oh boy.
Okay.
So we're about to roll
We'll
a whole
use
bunch of
magic.
dice, huh?
I might have to use luck again.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, I
Roll
got
the
it.
dice.
Someone help me out, man.
Do I get to
Give me
roll
that
for
luck.
what?
I'll
Or-
do help a friend. I'll do help a friend because I have a helping hand. When you
Don't look at me, I
successfully
have
have
magic.
another hunter, they get +2 instead of the usual +1.
Oh,
Or you
shit.
could also use one of your holds from
Yeah,
your
'cause if we-
fortune.
Oh yeah,
If I
I'll
can
just
get
do
it
+4
12,
because
yeah, then I can
I'll
get
just
the...
so I'll use one of my holds and I'll give +1 to Meridius.
Okay, so that's 12 now.
Meridius, wait, and then she helps.
No, describe it specifically how
specific.
you're helping with this spell. How do you first?
So she focuses.
Well, no, actually, here, let me describe this real quick because this will help you out. Your mind flashes for a second back to your vision, and in that whiteness, you see you see Rudius, and you see this creature being sucked into his amulet. You see this happen before it actually happens, and that lets you react. So, what do you do?
So, but Esmeralda doesn't have any spells, right? She can't really do anything. So Esmeralda, what she can do is she can, I think, channel energy, maybe? Okay.
Yeah,
so
you can channel.
So she channels, energy, and she focuses, all of her power and all of her thoughts on the spirit going into Rudius's amulet.
Actually does that. Your friendship bracelet actually lifts your arm up, and your friendship bracelet is kind of shaking and pointing towards Rudius.
She looks around to see if anyone sees her friendship bracelet.
I see it.
Oh my
She's
god.
oh shit, oh no.
Oh shit.
And okay, describe what it looks like when this happens, Rudius.
At first, to me, it seems like the spirit is resisting, and it's almost the veins in my head are popping out because of how much focus or how much almost like a physical pressure I'm feeling from it, almost pulling away from me. That's when Esmeralda starts giving me that extra push by channeling her energy. There's almost like a pop, like a feeling of pop, it just reaches that peak that we needed, and there's almost this sucking feeling, there's a suction, and the spirit just goes in, and I almost got a feeling of vacuum, I guess, and it just goes
a
in
Ghostbusters
instantly.
thing,
Yeah.
But
or
as
or
Alan
Ghostbusters,
or a Danny
disappears,
Phantom thing.
as
Yeah,
Alan
Danny
disappears into the amulet, Rudius, you almost swear he was smirking at you.
That bastard.
So a couple things are going to happen, Rudius. You get the added effect, right? That added effect is going to be as long as Alan is trapped within your amulet, you will get +1 ongoing to any use magic rolls. There's a drawback, though. The drawback is that you can't use your amulet for those spells. So you have to use your incantations and your gestures.
Alright.
Because you have to use 2, right?
Yeah,
you
yeah.
only need to use 2.
Yeah.
So do you accept that effect?
Yes, I do. Do I have to actually
Okay.
come up with incantations?
Start writing them down.
Oh, I do take...
That's what I call a nerf.
I do take 2 experience points. I use magic.
The atmosphere of the Winter's Funeral Home feels like it lightens. There was this kind of tense oppressiveness about the place, and suddenly it just lifts. You also feel like a sort of levity come over the place, and you start to just all of you kind of just really feel like smiling all of a sudden.
Finally! I feel like I can breathe again.
I feel relieved, but I rush at Rolf to see if he's doing better or okay.
The man called Rolf, as soon as Alan he was still screaming as Alan was disappearing into the amulet, but as soon as Alan disappeared, the man called Rolf passed out cold.
Olaf is just like smacking his face a bit.
Let's get him into bed.
Oh my god. For the non-magic user who's confused as fuck, what the hell just happened?
Go ahead, Damien, roll investigate a mystery. You have the dossier.
Okay. So, I got an 8.
8. I can't read that. Is that an 8?
Yeah.
That's an 8.
Yeah.
It's an 8.
You need to
Alright,
get
so
your
you
eyes checked, bro.
hold one. I already did. I just need to go update the prescription.
Mine are worse than his,
Oh,
but he's
okay.
just a baby.
Okay.
Wow.
So you hold 1? Yeah, you hold 1. So what's your question?
What the fuck happened?
Pretty much, what happened here?
Okay. Reading through the dossier, any adepts that the Order of St. John has dealt with, 95% of them have exhibited dissociative identity disorder. Now, the difference between the clinical diagnosis and how it manifests in adepts is that in adepts, each personality, each identity can actually physically push out the other ones, as in into the physical world. They can push out the other identities, effectively making doppelgangers of them. Now, you get a sense that that's kind of what was happening here, but not exactly, because whatever other identity got pushed out of the man called Rolf, it wasn't solid, it wasn't physical, at least yet.
Yeah. Does Dossier say anything about, like, if the identities does, like, split from the original self? Like, does it affect the host, like, in personality-wise, or does it stay the same?
So since they're completely different identities, it doesn't actually affect the personality of the adept. However, when the identities are separated, whether it be physical or through some sort of magical means, that adept's magical abilities are reduced.
Oh, okay. Sense.
In essence, it's as if there's these multiple magical beings all crammed into one vessel, so that vessel is jam-packed with magical energy. But if they get separated, they become more and more mundane.
The host loses its abilities.
Right.
Slowly. Got it. So as Damien goes through the dossier and gets information, he looks through the group and is like, so I think we should go forward with the program, because this might be an issue.
What does it say exactly?
Yeah. Okay. As Damien goes through the dossier, he looks up to the group and says, well, this is what the program states. Following training aspects are 1. Mysticism and meditation.
As he lists these off, we kind of see the camera pan through each member of the group. So as he says, say it again.
Mysticism and meditation.
The camera just kind of flashes on Rudius.
Focus and combat.
The camera flashes on Esmeralda.
Culture and ancient weaponry.
The camera flashes on Olaf.
And finally, style.
And the camera lands on Damien.
I'm stylish. Well, it's gonna take a while for him to go through with this, but I believe this is for his best.
Yeah.
Any
I'll
objections?
but we probably should explain to Rolf what exactly it is.
Let's let the man recover first, because it's been like he's been through shit, so yeah.
Rolf, you're free to wake up whenever you want, by the way.
Okay. But for now, he's still passed out.
Okay. So, as the day progresses, what do the rest of you do?
I go... you continue.
No, you go for it.
Okay, so as I was saying, Damien goes back to his room, researching on, like, the usual lore and stuff, and also going through his old, like, refreshing his old training he did with the Order of St. John, so to see how he can pass that on to Rolf, because he remembers the agent saying that it's similar to the training he went through.
Okay, yeah, cool. That will come back.
Me, on the other hand, I go back to my sort of workshop, I guess, in the attic, and I try to figure out if there's any way I can communicate with the thing in my amulet.
Ooh.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Ooh,
Roll use
shit.
magic.
Oh, boy. This is gonna be cool.
The bonus. Wow. To save my life. Oh, I need to use the glitch. Huh?
And you gotta come up with an incantation too.
Oh, gee. Did you remind him? Hang on. I have a bunch of spells pulled up here.
Wingardium
Meanwhile.
Leviosa.
Yeah, do someone else's and come back to me.
Hocus Pocus.
Okay, that's fine. We'll leave you there for now.
Well, is it
As-
Halloween in the game?
So it's 3 days to Halloween.
So, Esmeralda.
Okay.
Each session is supposed to be one day, but we'll see how it goes.
So Esmeralda decides that she's going to go get some decorations from the store and some candy and some costumes for everyone.
I fucking
That's
love this.
nice.
She goes. Where's Rolf and Damien? Because they're the ones who haven't said that they're doing anything, right? Or Olaf. Olaf said he's.
Damien is studying his old training.
I'm in my room.
So
Yeah.
where's Rolf? The man called
Rolf
and Olaf?
is still in bed. He hasn't
Olaf
woken up
is in
since the
his-
incident earlier.
Is Olaf by his side?
No,
Or is he-
Olaf is actually just milling about in his catacombs.
Okay, so Esmeralda goes in and checks on the man called Rolf. Are you awake? She waits to hear an answer.
The man called Rolf.
Okay. Oh.
At first it doesn't seem like he's there, and then you notice his fingers start to twitch a little bit, and then his eyes slowly open.
How are you
Oh
feeling?
boy.
The man called Rolf does not feel good.
Do you want to go get some ice cream and do some Halloween shopping?
The man called Rolf he almost looks like he didn't hear the question. He's kind of starting to look around a little bit, but he seems lost.
Don't worry, there's nothing here that's going to
The
hurt
ma-
you. For the
The
time
man
being.
called Rolf feels like he lost
Oh,
something,
boy.
and he's not quite sure what. And he starts rubbing his temple, specifically his left temple.
To that, you will be at -1 ongoing for your use
Okay.
magic rolls.
I took away your magic.
Essentially.
You're so happy.
Well, if you don't feel up to going out, why don't you stay here and rest? But if you're ready for it, I think it would be great to take your mind off of things.
The man called Rolf slowly nods, and he starts to get out of bed and gets dressed and stuff, like he's getting ready to go out.
All right, well, I'll go check on Olaf, and we'll see if he wants to go. And she's like super excited.
She heads down to the catacombs, and she's kind of like at the entrance to the catacombs, and she just yells down because it echoes like all the way down.
And she's actually kind of, even though this is a lot, like, this is giving her flashbacks of the sect. So she's a little fucking scared right now, because even though she lived there her entire life,
Wait,
she didn't always love
You
it.
lived in catacombs?
The sect is like, it's...
Their headquarters is like an ancient cathedral.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
basically like, have you ever seen Van Helsing? It's like the
Yep.
bottom of that church that they're in.
Oh,
That's how I
okay,
imagine it,
makes
at
Yeah,
least.
think of that mixed
Cool.
with the vampire's lair in Interview with the Vampire. You know, where all those
That's
foreign
fucking cool.
vampires
Yeah,
are?
yeah.
You're just having like a nerd
Yeah.
gasp.
I was watching Van Helsing because
No.
I used to love it, and I was like, okay, I'm picking up a lot of things here.
Did not see that movie more than 10 times? No question.
Yeah.
Olaf, you hear her voice
And it's
echoing through the
out,
catacombs.
Wink, wink, shaky.
Olaf grunts and it
That
echoes.
sounds wrong.
Oh my god!
Oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god.
Olaf, do you want me to come back another time? Me and the man called Rolf are just gonna go out and do some Halloween shopping.
Sure.
Do you want to go with us, or do you want me to come back at another time and just leave you to your devices?
Happy time.
Sure.
Sure. Oh my god.
Just before we go, if you want to join us.
Best character.
Yeah.
Sure.
My fucking
She like
god.
closes the door and like runs upstairs and like tries to get that voice of out of her mind.
Hashtag best character.
After
my
a few after like about
Done.
20 minutes, Olaf joins you upstairs. Just remind me again, was Rolf going?
Yes, the man called Rolf is
Yeah.
going, but he's more disheveled
Dragging it.
looking than normal. Like,
Yeah, because we've been waiting for 20
Is that
minutes
possible?
when I thought
Yeah.
it would be 5.
like you would think it's not possible for him to look more disheveled than normal, but he is. Like his
He
clothes
does.
are
He has, like,
completely
burnt
in
skin.
tatters. He's completely burned. And he's still, his eyes are still rimmed in red, and he looks completely lost.
Huh, the man called
Looks like his
Rolf
usual
looks
self.
very much like himself, more so than usual.
See? Even Olaf
yeah,
gets it.
maybe we'll get you some clothes,
The man called Rolf just kind of, when Olaf says that Rolf looks more like himself than usual, the man called Rolf kind of looks at him weakly and just says, the man called Rolf does not quite feel like himself, and kind of looks away sadly.
Listen, the man called Rolf. You're going to find that other part of you that you feel like you're missing.
I'll fill the void.
You should,
Oh
you should
my God.
start introducing him to like some ladies or something.
Yeah, let's go out.
The trio heads into town, and there's all sorts of people on the street and stuff. They're all getting ready for Halloween. You go to the general store.
Can I say that? On our way walking to the general store, we see a pie stand, and we all look at it and like in disgust and just look away like we didn't even see the pie stand.
References.
The pie vendor looks really like disappointed because nobody's buying pies.
Aw.
Um,
I feel bad for the man. I would have just got some.
okay, so we go into the general store, and I tell Olaf and Rolf to pick out some. Why don't you guys go ahead and find some things you'd like to decorate the house with, and I'll do the same, and I'll also buy some candy.
We get a montage of them going through the general store. There's all sorts of Halloween decorations and costumes and stuff. Let's get a couple of costumes that each of you try on.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Almost
let's start with
imagining
Olaf.
Rolf is just standing there not moving, and
Yeah.
Esmeralda just starts running around him, just changing clothes
Yeah.
every once in a while just to
I
see if
start,
it looks good.
it's like Pretty Woman, montage, and I'm like putting hats on him and stuff, and in the end, he just starts laughing
And
hysterically.
I would say at the end them with a mime costume or something.
Oh,
With the face paint and everything.
Yeah.
Like, where did she get the
Yes.
face paint from?
Yes. Beautiful.
And Olaf, what are you trying on?
Olaf first tries on a bedsheet for size.
Oh my gosh.
I think you go with
Best
something that's a
character
bit
ever.
more creative, Olaf.
It's Casper the Horny Girl.
Olaf takes off the bedsheet. Better.
Yes. She puts a cowboy hat on him and she gives him like a fake gun. She says, "I think that looks pretty smashing."
Olaf looks at the gun. I can make a better one.
Oh my God.
Okay.
what does
This man.
Esmeralda end up with?
Oh, Esmeralda. She goes with a
I have
She
yellow
like-
and red outfit.
no.
She's a clown.
No, she looks at all the outfits. She sees this afro that's calling out to her. It's a rainbow
Nice.
afro. And
The afro pause.
she looks at it and then she sees this clown suit. It's
Oh,
very
Lord,
appealing. And so she grabs that and she's like, "I don't think I even need to try it on."
Unaware to the group, Damien hates clowns.
Oh.
She knows, and also Esmeralda knows this because they went to high school together, or they went to school together. So that's why she's like,
Well,
"I
you're
don't
about to
even
get
need
shot,
to
lady."
try this on." She also,
Oh, Jesus
she
Christ.
also gets a little girlish scarecrow costume for Damien, and
Oh, hell
she
no.
gets a really sexy cat costume for Bruce.
Wow.
Fucking
As you're
God.
reaching for the cat costume, somebody else grabs it right before you do.
Excuse me.
Oh, shit.
Oh, we can have a Black Friday fight.
Who is it? Who is it? Who is it?
Oh, shit.
That's
Can you
for
guess?
me.
Coslow.
It's Lily Coslow. Lily Coslow.
Oh yeah, it's Coslow.
It's Sheriff
Oh,
Lily
God.
Coslow.
Rivals.
Yeah.
Sheriff.
The rivals.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you gonna get this?
I didn't have the vision, right? It was
Yeah,
the man called
and
Rolf. It was
as the man called Rolf, the man called Rolf has been super neutral this whole visit, but as soon as he sees Coslow, his eyes suddenly widen and he recalls the vision and he runs up to Coslow and grabs her hand and he says, "The sheriff must run! Your life is in danger!"
It's Esmeralda kind of grabs she puts her arm over the man called Rolf's, well actually I guess his mid half because he's so freaking tall, right?
No, he's short.
The man
Anyway.
called Rolf? No, he's short.
Oh, okay. Olaf
Yeah.
is tall. Okay.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
So she puts her arms around his shoulders and she kind of brings him toward her and she's like, It's okay. We'll talk.
And he's practically sobbing at this point. He goes, "The man called Rolf needs to keep her away from the woods."
Okay, it's okay. Well, she's safe.
And he's
now.
like,
It's
he's
okay.
down on his knees crying.
Excuse us.
Olaf comes up
Hey,
behind the sheriff and puts a hand on her shoulder. Sorry about
She
it.
jumps.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Sorry, Sheriff. Coslow, I apologize for this. I'll let you know if there's anything to what the man called Rolf is saying, but I honestly don't. I'll let you know. I'll let you know what's going on, okay? I apologize for this.
Just take the costume. She walks off.
Wait, Sheriff! Sheriff!
Damn.
She walks off.
No, I go after her.
He's gone.
Okay, you catch up to
Oh
her.
my fuck.
You catch up to her.
Excuse me,
Damn.
Sheriff?
Yeah.
Because Esmeralda knows that most of the time the man called Rolf is right in his visions, she just tells her, is there any way I could contact you if we have a hunch that something's going on? You see, as you know, me and my group of friends, we aren't there, we are more, how do I put this?
Oh, cuckoo.
Sensitive
To things that are going to happen. And I know it sounds crazy, but I do think that there's some truth in what the man called Rolf was saying. He has a gift.
What, stay out of the woods?
To be cautious. He might have seen something that might happen, and I just think that it's best if you err on the side of caution. If anything happens, please give us a call. And she gives her a piece of paper that she writes down the funeral home's number. And she says, if I could have your number just in case we get a hunch.
I don't think so, Miss Latara.
Not even manipulate?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Gotcha.
Here we go.
I was like, come on now.
Production
Oh, you're
begins.
rolling charm, so make sure to mark experience.
See, that would have been a 12.
Okay, so her response is the same, but you need to do something right now to show her you mean it.
Give it the friendship
Cosmo.
bracelet.
That's a good idea.
I didn't catch that.
Oh
He
my.
said, give her the friendship bracelet. No. What she does is she gives her the cat costume. Listen, I don't need this, and we don't really need much. We're honestly here to protect and help people. If sometimes it gets in the way and it seems like that's not our doing. We don't intend for things to go awry. The only thing I can tell you so that you'll understand is that we were there when everything has happened in this town. And honestly, if you knew half of the things that we've seen that we kept from the town to keep it safe, you would trust us.
You're withholding information from the sheriff's department.
I'm not withholding information from the sheriff's department. We handle things the way that we're meant to handle things. The sheriff's department didn't get to it before us. And nothing happened that was, I guess, what law would dictate as criminal. So
The murder of a young girl isn't criminal.
that wasn't our doing.
Look, if it's true that you have advanced information about these things,
The only information we have is what's in our minds. And you don't believe me now, so why would you have believed me then? After all of that has happened, and we've proven to you and this town.
look, if what you're telling me is true, you can somehow see the future or know what's going to happen, then why wouldn't you give that information to the people who are actually charged with protecting this town?
Because you don't believe us. Just like you're not believing me now when I'm trying to give you this information. He told you not to go into the woods, to stay away from whatever there is in there. And I'm sure he would give you more information. And we could give you more information if he has in your visions. But you're choosing to ignore this. Because, Sheriff Costa, do you believe in God?
I'm not getting into this with you.
If
Here,
you believe in God, I don't understand.
she hands
If
you her
believe-
business card and it has her her issued cell phone
Over
number.
dramatic.
I did get a little bit over dramatic there. Thank you, Sheriff. You won't regret it. And believe me, you'll be the
If
first
you
to
get one
call.
of those tips and if you think that it's actually going to happen, then tell me about it. Maybe then I'll believe you.
You'll be the first person we call. We just need to know that we can trust you. This is heavy information, Sheriff.
Yeah, we'll see.
Do we have your trust? I'm not gonna be calling her with this shit. If you're not gonna trust us. What the fuck? She's just gonna make us look guilty.
Damn. Yeah, that is true. That's really like.
She gonna
Look,
die,
I'm a
so-
woman of my word, okay? Whatever I tell you I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do.
I guess what we can do is we can give it a shot, both of us. I'll give you a call if I hear anything. Or, well, if the man called Rolf or any of my companions see anything. Oh, did she give me the cat's costume back? I'm gonna, wait, I point to it and
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
and actually, are you going to use that? Because I have a
Oh my
perfect
God.
person for that.
She rolls her eyes. Here.
Thank you. It's much appreciated. Have a great Halloween.
Yeah. She walks over and she starts looking at the masquerade masks. Yeah, as you guys get up to the counter, you're not wearing the costumes that you had tried on. Like, you're gonna pay for them, right? And the cashier is I have this guy's name.
Elmer Fudge.
No, it's not Elmer Fudge.
He's going by that name because he's wearing an Elmer Fudge costume.
No, those are the chocolates that they have on sale right there for.
And I'll take 2 of these. Oh, actually 3.
Those are 4 for $1.
Oh, well, I guess if you're gonna force me, 4.
But there's 5 of us.
Well, one of them. I'm watching my figure. I'm just kidding.
Since I
Since I ate all that pie.
The cashier is
pie.
Brett Wilson. He, you guys actually recognize him. Well, except for, I'm not sure if you guys recognize. You might recognize him. He was the guy that Rudius tried to pick up in the diner in episode 1.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Oh no.
Oh.
Anyway, you all walk up, and he's like, "Whoa, those are some cool costumes, guys."
Yeah. Can you guess who's for who?
Oh, I meant the ones you were wearing.
Oh, yeah, these are costumes. Sure.
You have Esmeralda in her archaic clothing. You have Olaf, a freaking Draugr, and then you have the man called Rolf in tattered clothing and what looks like eye makeup all over the place.
Why do we need Halloween costumes?
Because, bitch, it's motherfucking Halloween.
Only the 2 of us need it.
I know, I'm just saying, like,
did you
because of
find
the way the
everything
others
okay?
look.
I actually was looking to see if you had any, what are they called? What are this? Oh, any, sofa tablets, and I didn't find any.
What?
Oh, never mind.
Did you guys want to get some candy? Because it's on sale right now.
Yeah, we got 3 bags.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay.
Great sales, right?
It's gonna be $62.52.
Oh, she pays.
Does she though?
Damn.
Yeah, she has money. The sect provides.
All right. Yeah, we established a couple
Who does it
episodes
on
ago
that
that you have
standing?
how much you had $4,000. So.
I'm also doing some work. I don't remember though. Remember I was working.
You're
on something?
cleaning the building.
You were cleaning the apartments. You were helping at the oh no you were a librarian.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she still does that
my
on the
God.
weekends when she has time.
Why?
They kind of hate her because she doesn't do.
She
doesn't read.
She does a horrible job.
Yeah, but like when she goes to do like.
Also, she organizes all of the
Still
books
gets paid.
in the way that the sect does it. Yeah.
Oh
and
my
then they
God.
have to go back and redo it.
It's like at this point she's messing them up more than she's helping.
Okay, so we're ready to go.
Okay, so the group heads back to the funeral home. As you reach the outside, you take a look at the funeral home and you look at all of the overgrown plants, the cast iron gates, the rickety old side paneling, the fallen off roof tiles. Some windows are still kind of broken. Some of the window panes are still boarded up. And then you look at your decorations, and it's a bunch of like cobwebs and fake spiders. And then you look at the cemetery that's literally adjacent to the funeral home. And then you look at the plastic little headstones that you picked up at the general store.
This is giving me an idea. We should have our own Halloween party.
The man called Ralph is kind of looking at her and kind of shrugs, and he's kind of absentmindedly rubbing his left temple without realizing it.
Okay, alright, let's go on and show the guys the costumes we got them. And then, she like runs upstairs, like super excited, and she interrupts, Damien.
I peek through my door. Hello?
Hi, Damien.
Yes.
Look at this costume I got you. And she pulls out like the cute little scarecrow costume.
That's for who?
That's for you. It fits you. Don't worry. I checked the size. I think you. Yeah.
And then you just hear the door slam.
No, Damien, you're going to wear this. She uses manipulate. Or she. Can she
Ooh, roll manipulate someone.
Yeah.
Oh, hell no. How do I resist this?
You don't. You
Hey,
just
resist this.
mark experience if you do it.
Nice.
Yes! That's what I
Oh,
use my
shit.
12 on.
Oh,
I know, that's what your 12
That means I
lands
also
on.
get to put really cute scarecrow
Okay, so-
makeup. It has a skirt too, just so you know.
Great.
If you do what they ask,
Oh, someone
you
shoot
mark
me.
experience and get +1 forward. Okay, so mark experience, and then you have +1 forward. That means on whatever your next roll is, you're gonna have +1.
You look great. This is, and I just want the audience to know that this is what everyone will be wearing for the next 3 days.
Oh my god.
It has been decided.
It is decided.
She also knocks on Rudius's door.
No one answers because I'm in the attic.
Yeah, he's in the attic.
And then she's like,
you see the attic ladder down.
And she looks, and she's, oh, okay. And she walks up the attic. What is she? Okay. Rudius?
She caught me in the middle of me putting the amulet temporarily in the altar. I'm like, yes?
Wait. Let's hear the back end of that incantation, though.
Oh, I was going to do that after the interaction.
Oh, okay. So in the middle of you doing all this, she says, here's a little costume I got you. When you're done with all of this, you should come downstairs and show us how it fits.
Costume? Oh, it's for Halloween. But my family...
You're waiting it for 3 days.
Yeah, my family doesn't really celebrate Halloween much.
I don't care.
I don't know if I can really...
In reality, his family is like all fucking out on Halloween. They actually celebrate Samhain, but Rudius always hated it, so
he
like...
chooses not to.
You can actually see her.
Yeah.
Rudius. She looks him in the eyes and she says, I'm asking you for this one favor. Will you wear this costume
Roll manipulate someone
until Halloween?
Oh Lord, no.
If I lose this, I'll be so mad.
I mean, the incentive is pretty high for Farhan, because...
Yeah.
Okay.
So if so you mark experience if you do what they ask.
I was like, I look at her, I'm like, just sort of snatch the bag out of her hands. Get out of here. I'll see you in a little bit.
Okay.
I'm glad that experience is the incentive for that, because that's the only way.
I know,
Rudius
that's what I
will
was
take
just
that.
thinking. I was thinking, I don't even know if Farhan will take that.
Okay, cool. So, the day kind of progresses. Let's go ahead and look at do the whole incantation thing with Rudius.
All right, yeah. So I set up the altar and put the amulet on it so that I'm facing it, and then I you know the little hand movements they do in like Doctor Strange.
The circular.
So I do those.
Yeah.
And I almost in a weird, like, gruff way, like a harsh voice, I say, Magna Confractio Dimensionis.
Fucking
Nice.
sick. As you do that, your third eye opens, and before you, with your hand motions, you see this seal, this symbol appear in the air. And as you finish the incantation, it launches forward towards the amulet. And as it hits it, Alan Delmore Fletch appears before your third eye.
And he's kind of propped on the table, and he's smirking at you. You missed me already.
To be honest, no. Like, what we went through, I would rather not do that again, but I really need to understand what you are and what you're trying to do to my friend.
Well, I certainly can't answer to what I am, because I do not know any further than you do. I simply am.
I see. How about the latter question?
What was the latter question again?
What do you plan on doing with my friend?
Well, that's simple. I plan to protect him and keep him safe.
Protect him how?
From all of you.
But we have never harmed him.
And yet, when all of you are around him, he meets nothing but misfortune and is being within an inch of his life. And I know this because I have lived within him for all his life.
And does he feel this way?
I do not know how he feels, because I am not him. I am Alan. I only know how I feel, and I am furious with all of you. Do you know that he has been haunted by Sarah Miller ever since the incident with the mayor?
I do actually know, because we did have a conversation a few episodes ago.
Way to break the fourth wall!
Breaking the fourth
So
wall.
meta.
But
I feel like Rudius winks at the camera.
yeah.
Oh my.
But
like
back
the one
in
supernatural
character,
episode
yes,
again.
I do have an inkling as to what he is experiencing.
No, you have no idea. And Alan is visibly glaring at him, and his eyes are glowing red.
Well,
Rudius, do you have any more questions?
No, actually not.
Okay, the connection stops, and your third eye closes, and you feel drained.
Alright, does that actually mean I take damage or something? Or?
No, you just feel, just kind of collapse, and you're just, like, that took a lot out of you to be able to do that.
Yeah, alright, sort of breathe hard for a couple of minutes. After catching my breath, I put the amulet back on and I go to try on my costume.
Meanwhile,
Oh Lord.
Esmeralda is like forcing Olaf to put the full-on cowboy costume on. Olaf, you have to use this gun. It's a fake gun.
No, Olaf will only use a real gun.
Okay, well, at least put the
So the man
on.
called Rolf is also in the room, and he just kind of throws his .38 revolver in Olaf's lap.
And it goes off.
It was unloaded.
That's dangerous. And then she says, "The man called Rolf. What are you doing? Put on your mime costume."
The man called Rolf thought Olaf would like the real revolver better, and he kind of he shrugs with one hand, but his left arm is still rubbing his temple.
Olaf likes shotguns.
Well, cowboys
You think he would after what happened
Right?
in episode 2.
Actually, it had a
Cowboys
reverse
don't
effect.
use-
Instead of traumatizing him, it made him
Love it.
like more
It
attractive.
showed him the power.
Yeah.
There we
the
go.
power of a shotgun.
Well, use whatever you want, but just put the costume on. And then, like, she starts to make, like, a punch for everyone, and she starts putting up the decorations. But, yeah, in the back of her mind, she has something to tell Rudius.
So how much candy did you get?
I got 3 bags.
And the 4 pieces.
So one of the bags is already done because Esmeralda has eaten most of it.
I feel like she was like
What's that?
absentmindedly snacking on it while she was running around decorating.
Yeah.
That's exactly
I feel
what
like she would
happened.
lie to everyone. Like, oh, we only had 2 bags.
God damn it.
Damien, you've been looking through your old trainings, and you've kind of developed a plan for each person to kind of take the man called Rolf through these trainings. And first, you have the focus and combat section, and you've kind of actually let me message it to you so you can say it in your own words.
Okay.
Meanwhile, does Rudius come down in his cat costume?
Still in my room, right?
I do
Yes.
come down in my cat costume.
I'm not wearing it, but I'm not coming down.
You're not coming down, Damien?
Hell no.
Okay, well, wow,
I shall see
Rudius.
this.
Wow.
Fuck you, God, shit like that sound.
Actually,
I don't
Rudius,
know how I feel about this, really. Like,
I think it looks smashing.
do you really think so?
It's a little tight, but
I
it'll do.
was beginning to think it looks rather flattering on me.
I mean, it looks very flattering. Actually, Rudius, I wanted to talk
Oh
to
my
you.
God.
And she, like, kind of, like, pulls him to the side where the man called Rolf and Olaf can't hear. The man called Rolf has been saying that he hasn't been feeling whole, and he's been rubbing his left temple all day. He's not himself, and I think that it has to do with us taking that other half of him.
Yes, that's the conclusion I came to as well. I did have a small conversation with the spirit. Let's just call it that for now. And it seems to think that it is part of his existence, like his being almost, like part of his
I
psyche.
think that he needs
per se.
the good and the bad.
Well, to be honest, I don't know if that spirit is particularly bad or evil. Like, it seems like it's his self-defense mechanism personified. Like, it's trying to protect the host almost. And I almost think we should maybe introduce him back to Rolf, but maybe we should go through the program before doing that. That way Rolf is in a better place and he's strong enough to handle the
My
spirit.
only fear is that in the state that he's in right now, he won't be able to fully go through the program.
But the issue with returning the spirit to him right now is that the spirit is much stronger than him and will probably take over his body. And the spirit hates us, abhors our existence. He wants Rolf out of here. So,
On that note, Damien, you walk out of the room with your first training plan.
wearing his costume.
Right.
Yes.
Wow, look at this
Fucking
sexy scarecrow. Oh my gosh, is that skirt too short for you?
As Damon tries to load his gun, it's like, I want to shoot myself. Can't. It's unbearable.
What was his costume?
You can always... It's a sexy scarecrow.
Sexy scarecrow.
Actually, you said I had a costume. It wasn't sexy, but it was like a scarecrow skirt costume, and that's what made me think of it. So, you're welcome, Damien.
So as Damon goes into I guess they're all in the sitting room, right?
Yeah, that's what I had pictured.
So as Damien looks at Esmeralda and sees the clown, he kind of freezes for like a good 10 seconds and kind of twitches his fingers like I'll be here while I explain.
It's just me, Damien. I'm not an actual clown.
I know it's clowns
Hey,
and Halloween.
Damien, how do I
mixed for
look?
me.
Esmeralda says I look pretty good. What do you think, man?
It's like a skin-tight cat costume. like think of Halle Berry and Catwoman.
No, wait,
yeah.
but he's still wearing his hoodie under it though.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't even wear a hoodie anymore. Remember, it's like a trench coat now.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. That goes with the leather then.
Wait, so
Yeah.
I see him in his full cat costume.
Yeah, I have like
Yes.
cat ears too.
And then a little tail. It's like sexy.
I was like,
like,
no words.
meow.
Look at the way the pants like lift up the buttocks.
I'm good. I'm fine.
Do you feel a little bit degraded
Nightmare
right
for
now,
days.
I feel free all of a sudden.
You feel liberated?
I feel
Oh
liberated.
Lord.
This is your true form. Your
Yes.
true and final form. He'll be wearing the cat costume the entire.
His hair like lifts a little bit, like in a Ghibli film where like, you know, they're like excited and like their hair goes up a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, Damien. Continue. Sorry, Damien.
He's
continue.
having flashbacks of his childhood on how all of his horrible Halloweens were.
No, this one's
Especially the
better.
one
His
with the
mom made him
clown.
dress up like, you know, I don't know,
As
sugar or
Dorothy.
something.
It was weird.
Yeah.
I wanna be
And then they would
Dorothy.
do all sorts of rituals. and-
Dorothy's too covered up.
Yeah. I mean, what?
She's not liberated.
Anyway, I want to discuss with you guys the whole program thing, if that's okay.
Yes.
Should we call Olaf over here?
Probably yes, because
Probably yes, since I'd rather have him here as well.
Well, are we not telling the man called Rolf then?
no, we should probably include him.
Okay,
We can include him, yeah.
well then, the man called Rolf, Olaf, meeting in the sitting room, and she starts to, like, shake the bag of candy. Like, really loudly. And if that doesn't work, she starts to bang, like, some hard candies on the surface of the table, like, click, 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 like, really loud.
Olaf lumbers over to the sitting room.
The man called Rolf just kind of, he looks like he's still in a bit of a haze and he's rubbing the left side of his head.
The man called Rolf, stop that, you're rubbing your makeup off.
The man called Rolf, like, looks confused, and then he catches himself, and he has to pull his left arm down with his right arm and kind of hold it.
There's, like, a little, like, spot where you can see his skin under
Yeah.
the white makeup on his left temple.
That's really bugging you.
I, like, go and
So,
I
Rolf.
touch it up with a sponge and some white makeup.
So after they all gather, Damien addresses Rob and is like, "You okay?"
The man called Rolf feels as though he's missing something, and he doesn't know what it is.
Maybe we should have given him the
Well-
cat costume.
Olaf sidles
I like it.
closer
Why
to
couldn't
the
he
man
have
called
this
Rolf
costume?
and puts an arm
Well,
around his shoulder.
I want to discuss some things with you, Rolf, if that's okay. So, regarding, I've seen you use magic a few times, and since I have no idea how any of those work, and due to what I've seen out there, I'm going to give you pretty much like a training regimen. So from now on, any combat that requires mostly regular weaponry, you will do under Esmeralda. But not here, because we only have one funeral home at the moment. I say we do this in the woods.
The man called Rolf, like,
Agreed.
while Damien is talking, the man called Rolf is just kind of, he's perceptive of what Damien is saying. But as soon as Damien mentions the woods, the man called Rolf, like, tenses, and he starts shaking his head. He goes, "A man called Rolf will not step foot into the woods."
That's when I turned to Olaf. I'm like, Olaf, are there any like open chambers in the catacombs below? I've never really visited.
Actually, so, wait, am I doing magic in combat, Damien?
No, you're doing just the combat, so it'll help him focus. So, pretty much like maneuvering in the field and using your daggers, pretty much how he can handle himself more. And yeah, but I was thinking in the woods, but I don't think he's comfortable in the woods anymore.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like he would want to do it there. But as I was asking if there are any big open spaces available in the catacombs below, we could use that maybe. And it would be out of the public sight as well.
I think that's a good idea. I think for the start of our training, we can do, we can work on focus and combat in the catacombs, and then once I feel that the man called Rolf has progressed in his trainings, we can move towards the woods, because I feel like that is something he needs to face. I don't know, maybe we'll see it doesn't have to.
Sounds great. And next, since you have some area of expertise in magic, Rudius,
Wait, really?
I think you should.
You only have some expertise, Rudius.
As I was saying, magic. I put you in charge of that regarding Rolf, since you have a whole history.
Yes, I have
magic and
grown up
everything.
in a magical household, you want to call it that. But yeah, I will take a look into it.
I've heard stories about about my dear aunt from my mom.
What's her name?
What is her name, Rudius?
I never came up with one, to be honest.
Come up with one right now, on the spot.
Olga.
On the spot. 1, 2, 3. Go.
Margaret!
There you go.
Margaret!
All right.
Margaret Stargazer.
That's
I like
cute.
that.
Oh my god, I want that.
Oh, okay. So yeah, regarding the stories I've heard about Aunt Margaret from Mom, I'm guessing you should be in charge of magic.
Yeah.
Just don't blow anything up,
No,
or try not
I
to.
don't plan on, but yes, I'll take care of that.
Next, Olaf, since you guys are pretty much family, yeah, you're very close, I would say, and you have very big weaponry, I suggest you show him the way of the sword, axe, whatever the hell you use, and teach him a lot about his people, since you're like related somehow.
Just don't show him the shotgun.
I hide the Olaf tucks the shotgun farther back.
There's a shotgun.
You don't have a shotgun?
He has one that he made out of wood while he was in the catacombs.
It's
You know
made
what
of
I mean?
bone.
yeah.
Wink, wink.
Ew.
He made it out of
It's made out of
Oh my
bones.
god.
It's made out of bones.
That's not bad,
Really?
actually.
God.
It works, but
Boners.
it'll break on fire.
On the first shot.
First shot. Yeah, so you think you can teach him regarding your family culture and weapons?
Sure.
Olaf.
The man
Okay,
called
yeah, I
Rolf
can
does
teach
not
this.
understand. Esmeralda already taught the man called Rolf to use his powers. Why does he need training?
Well,
I showed him.
I would say, go on.
Well, I only showed you the way. I give you almost like an introduction into spells, as I recall. I didn't actually show you magic, or I didn't show you combat or weaponry or any of those.
You're showing him more. You showed him how to control his powers. That was the history between you. You showed him how to control them, but obviously he's not in full control of them yet. So you're gonna teach him focus, how to focus those powers and combat.
Okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Wax on, wax off.
Specifically,
Oh,
you'll
Lord.
teach him dagger combat, since he's his preferred weapon is his
Which
knife.
is gone.
Very big
Which is gone, which is where Olaf comes in. The whole culture and ancient weaponry is going to be focused on not only learning about the lore of his people, but also forging a new dagger for himself through Olaf's
Some
teachings.
Star Wars shit.
We
Yeah.
shall carve
And
you
then,
a bone dagger.
The magic and mysticism, or I think I may have said magic and meditation, one of the two, that's going to be Rudius, right? And go ahead and finish up your training regiment there, Ariz.
Yeah, and the final one is, since I've seen this not much with Rolf, but with Olaf, is like when we do things, people tend to notice a lot, looks at Olaf. And I'm going to teach you to do things a bit of the way we do it in the orders, like keep things as much down low as possible.
Maybe Olaf could sit in with this one and observe.
Yes, I would very much like that.
Don't you want to see Rudius in full action, Olaf?
Look on the bright side. You'll be with Rolf all the time.
All right. Well, what do you think about this, the man called Rolf?
The man called Rolf looks extremely nervous. And he's kind of fidgeting, like his leg is bouncing up and down, and his left arm is twitching really
He's like
bad.
a chihuahua when they're cold.
Esmeralda,
Oh
gets
my
up
God.
and sits next to the man called Rolf. If there's no seat on the couch, then she sits on the arm of the couch, and she, puts her hands on his hands, and she says, "Listen, this isn't just for you, it's for all of us. I think it's something we need to connect better and to work better as a team. Don't you want what's best for all of us?"
The man called Rolf wonders if what would be best for the group would be for the man called Rolf to just leave.
Esmeralda, roll manipulate someone.
Absolutely
As
not.
she's saying, it's not just about that. We need you, the man called Rolf. You're powerful, and you have a lot of promise.
Just a
You'll
tad
take
bit
one
crazy.
forward and mark experience if you do what she says.
Oh, okay. Okay, demon on my shoulder.
It's coming from my. It's coming from my amulet.
Yeah.
Yes! Become more powerful. I didn't do his voice right.
The man shrugs and the man called Ralph supposes he can try this.
Hey, look on the bright side. This might help you with your hearing Sarah Miller's voice problem.
Not likely.
The man called Ralph looks completely dejected.
Actually, hang on. When she says that, you hear it this time, Rudius.
Oh, because he has the amulet.
My eyes just wide.
Yeah.
I don't. He never sees her, right? He just hears her, right?
No, just hears her, yeah.
That's freaky.
I sort of just look up at his eyes and Wise eye, and there's almost like silently communicate that I sort of heard
The man called Ralph's eyes widen as well.
Yeah, the man called Rolf can tell that Rudius heard it.
Can I suggest that Rudius says something like, "You're not alone in this," like subtly.
You are not alone.
She says that out loud. She says that out loud in character. It's like, yes. You're not alone in this. Not at all. We're here with you. Did that sound right?
It's pretty, yeah.
And then it's like, meow.
Meow. You do like a little purr that you're content with what you just said.
There's like you guys can see like a tear starting to form at the corner of Rolf's eye.
The group goes into a group hug, all in their costumes, and the camera pans out of the Winters funeral home and into the black of the night, because apparently this took all day. And and we zoom into the woods, and you see Sheriff Coslow along with a few other deputies in the woods, and they're overseeing something. You see a man, an older man. He's got a lot like gray stubble, and he's like short hair, like almost like a flat top, but not as well kept. It's a little bit long, and he's got these gray eyes, just like old people eyes, and but he looks pretty like in shape. You know, like, so he's like lifting up a bunch of hay bales and like throwing them down and stuff, and he's like setting something up. And you see Coslow just stare into the dark of the woods, and the camera just fades into the woods, into black. And that's where we'll pick up next week.
God damn it!
Thank you so much for listening, everyone. Please remember to leave us a rating on iTunes if you enjoyed. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at CryptFails Inc. You can follow me at Hail Julio and at Hail Julio1 on Twitter and Instagram, respectively. And where can we find the rest of you guys?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Farhan Isaac.
You can follow me on Instagram at Susi_Possum and on Twitter at SusiPossum.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Capitan Niho.
It's Neal.
It's exactly awesome.
And you can find me at HDR on Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's the phonetic pronunciation / spelling.
Yeah, that's what we're
Be sure to
saying.
check it on the website. We have some pretty cool stuff on there that you can download for free. We're actually working on something as of this recording that will probably be up on there by the time this episode airs. So be sure to check it on that. It was a lot of fun to put together, and I think you guys will
and
find
maybe
it.
you'll see a little doodle of all of our characters in costume.
Or maybe we should get some fan art.
Courtesy.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll be the fan. I'll just
Please,
be the fan.
God.
It's okay.
I think we need fans. I think we need fans for that. Though.
Yeah. Oh, you
have
can
a
also
fan in my
follow
room.
Ariz, aka Damien, and those will be in the notes down below.
Yeah, well, not down below because this isn't YouTube, but it'll be in the show
I don't
notes.
know where they are because I don't do this. Julio does the editing and stuff, and so this is Neal. But yeah, I don't do this.
Oh, spoiler alert. What do you mean by
Spoiler alert, yeah, we don't know if that's up yet, but if it is, then you know what we're talking about. If it's not, then you don't.
Then you don't, and stay tuned.
Stay tuned. This outro has taken a long time, so please thank you guys again for listening, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye.
Stay for this part. Happy Halloween.
Spooky.
Spooky.
Sure.